Dave and from Ron as well, which is great. But if you want to hear their stories, you're going to have to come back at 7 o'clock tonight. Jay!
When I told my family that I was getting baptised, my mother-in-law said to me, "Oh, you'll have to write an obituary then." He knew what she meant, but and we laughed. After a couple of days, I realised it wasn't such a silly idea, because today I'm claiming to everyone, to family, friends, strangers, people I've never seen before, that I am taking part in the death of Christ, and through him I'm living again. So that's what I did. I've written my obituary. Stebbing, Jolien, known to his friends as Jay, died today to great approval. Born to a loving family, he rejected the idea of God and decided, like many people, to go his own way. He lived quite a direction of his life, thinking that he knew best. Throughout school and university, he continually turned down the advice of his family and teachers and friends, and ended up, at the end of it all, miserable and penniless. He fathered a child, a wonderful Ruby, but broke up with her mother before Ruby was born. Jay felt a failure, because he had not succeeded in the way the world expected him to. During this dark time, he met Sarah, quite by chance, and they instantly fell in love. Through patience, love, understanding, more patience, Sarah lived by example and tried to show Jay that he wasn't as worthless as he felt. She started taking Ruby to church, and eventually Jay followed them both to find out what was worth getting up so early on a Sunday morning for. And this went on for a while, with Jay still not really getting the idea, until one winter, and Sarah asked about attending an alpha course. And since there was nothing worth watching on telly, Jay agreed to go along. On the second evening, while watching the video lecture, it was like a light came on. Jesus, it turns out, was a real person, recorded in history books by people not even connected to the Bible. And he wasn't just a nice guy who said, "Wouldn't it be great if we all got along?" who lived a long time ago. He was a teacher with a relevant, important and timeless message. But most important of all to Jay was the final expression of that often used phrase, "Jesus died for you." Up until then, Jay's response to those 4 words, "Jesus died for you," had been a shrug. I didn't ask him to. But as the lecture went on, the sheer enormity of that simple phrase became crystal clear. Jesus, who had done nothing wrong, took on everything that everyone had ever done and will ever do, and died so that those things died with him. He then rose again, leaving all that darkness behind. And that day was a real Damascus Road experience for Jay. Because instead of worrying about what he hadn't done, or what he couldn't do, Jay started thinking about what he could do and what he should do. For no readily apparent reason, he started helping out in the Salvation Army soup kitchen in Norwich, in the freezing cold nights. He proposed Sarah, and was married in a ceremony held by 2 vicars who had become close personal friends, surrounded by more friends and family than he knew he had. They had a baby girl together, Hope, and moved to Frinton, where they began to attend a local church. At the time, Sarah and Jay said, "It will do until we find somewhere we feel at home." That was over a year ago. At this time, Jay was still working in Norwich as an IT tech for a school. And he developed a view of children as hooligans and vandals. If you'd asked him what the main purpose of his job was, it was to pull crisp packets out of CD-ROM drives. So basically, kids were completely without redeeming features. What then was going through his mind when he agreed to volunteer for Frinton Mission last summer? Clearly it wasn't Jay doing the thinking, as he found himself working more than 12 hours a day for 7 consecutive days for free, and was genuinely excited every morning to be going back to work with the young people who were just so amazing. Since then, Jay has also agreed to become a joint leader of a youth Bible study group, and survived a week at Kidderminster watching the amazing work of God in the lives of young people he's come to know and love. And I also should add here, he started doing number 4 on Sunday mornings, because it's just so brilliant. You can't get enough of it. So it is that Jay dies today, as a sign of his commitment to new life and to Jesus, who has given him so much. He leaves behind guilt, fear, and failure. So that's it, that's my victory. After today, I move forward in my new life. I suppose a new me in many ways. But I want to leave you with words from a famous film. It's one I didn't get around to watching because it was black and white. I've only seen it recently. And it's Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life. And it's a brilliantly quotable film. It's just lovely. But my favourite words in the film aren't even spoken. At the back of the main character's office, under a portrait of his late father, are the words, "All you can take with you is everything you gave." And those are the words that I now live by. Thanks to Jesus.
Well, it's time to take these good people, and because they've requested it,